I'm going to talk about the death of Teresa Halbach, who they say she was murdered Halloween Day 2005, and she passed at the age of 25. But if you don't know the code of letters and numbers, which is known as Gematria, you can't see the occult ritual behind the whole thing. And I highly recommend that you go and watch Making a Murderer. It left me on the edge of my seat, and I binge watched both seasons. And yeah, very suspicious to say the least. But, you know, much like the repetitive patterns of a clock, um, you see the same repetitive patterns in murder rituals, much like the murder of Teresa Halbach. And to further elaborate on that point, you see Teresa Halbach has a value of 103. And this whole channel has pretty much been dedicated to that number, 103. A lot of the suspicious deaths that I've been studying all connect back to this number, and that's special because 103 is prime. And 103 is the 27th prime number. Very special to what we all know as ritual. And think about how Halloween falls on the 31st every year of October. And that's probably no coincidence because 31 is also prime. And it's the 11th prime number. And when you write out 11 as a word, it has a matching value with ritual. And 11 is also 27 forwards and backwards. You see? So it's probably no coincidence that we see this number pop up in rituals time and time and time and time and time again. And yeah, so 27th prime, 103, Teresa Halbach, 103. And they say that she was murdered on October 31st, Halloween Day, by Stephen Avery, despite there being no physical evidence. Another example of people being convicted on purely circumstantial evidence, much like Scott Peterson. And now, Stephen Avery. Just 3 years after the Lacey Peterson murder, you get another wrongful conviction. But one of the most important deities to the occult, and like I said, much like the patterns of a clock, Saturn is known as the timekeeper. And, just like a clock, you get the same ritualistic number rituals all throughout history. But the center of this whole fiasco, Manitowoc County, has a value of 211, just like timekeeper. And why that's special is because time equals 47, and 211 is the 47th prime number. Also, keep in mind that Halloween Day, October 31st, was the day leaving 61 days left in the year. Time, 61. What's also crazy, guys, is that time also has value of 107. Special number to the Society of Jesus. And it is the Penal Code 187 is the penal code for murder in California. So a number often associated with murder, not just in California, but, Snoop Dogg rapped about 187. So it's known not just in California as as the penal code for murder, but, due to popular culture, most people associate that number, even without knowing this knowledge. So Manitowoc County, where this whole drama took place. And moving on to Stephen Avery, you see how he has the 7/9 birthday. And another famous person who, another big murder trial that had the 7/9 birthday was O.J. Simpson. You see? I mean, and not only that, he's born in 47. And that's kind of crazy because he's 74 years old right now. So another big murder trial figure born on that same day, not unlike Stephen Avery. But maybe the distinction would be, I don't know, maybe OJ is guilty and Stephen Avery is definitely not. Or, it's up to debate the whole OJ Simpson thing. Who knows if he really did it? But why that's special is because of this. And something I found out this morning, occult ritual has value of 79, just like murder. And that's exactly what these are. They're hidden rituals, hidden beneath the surface. And the surface level seems like, there's no ritual behind it. But once you start to read between the lines, it's very clear you can see the occult ritual behind it all. And keep in mind, 79 is prime as well. And, we're seeing in murder rituals like this, you often see the stacking of prime numbers because prime numbers are very important in spirituality and mathematics because they could only be divided by 1 in themselves. And also keep in mind, 1 in numerology represents power. Think about 11 is 1 written 2 times. So you get double the power. So murder, occult ritual, all ties in with Stephen Avery's birthday. And like I mentioned, 79 is prime. It's the 22nd prime number, tying in with his first name of Stephen. But this is where it gets crazy, you guys, is the fact that she has the 322 birthday. the number of the death cult, Skull and Bones, that worships death. And not only that, most secret societies do worship death. And, the Jesuit order, very much a order of murder. And the Catholic Church, worships death. And think about, the crucifixion of Jesus, a very important story to the foundation of their beliefs. But, Jesus, one of the biggest murder rituals known to man. So here she is, born on 322, but this is where it gets even crazier. Is that from her 25th birthday to the date of her murder was the reflection of 322, 223. And not only that, but it was 7 months and 9 days from her 25th birthday to Halloween Day. And murderer has this value. Murderer has this value of 114. And why I find that interesting is because from Stephen Avery's 43rd birthday to Halloween Day 2005 was 114 days. And here he is being framed as a murderer. But that's not even the interesting part to me. It's the fact that it was 3 months and 22 days from his 43rd birthday. Not unlike 223 or 322. And that number has been connected to a Bible verse. And I found that really interesting that the last part, it talks about living forever. And if you haven't seen the movie Kronos, it's a movie by Guillermo del Toro. The guy who in all his films has very spooky, satanic type of symbolism. Think about Pan's Labyrinth in Kronos. And there's another movie that I just discovered by him. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's got something to do with the devil. But in the film Kronos, there's a device. And if you're pricked, it's a golden scarab beetle. If you get pricked by it, you get basically turned into a vampire and you could live forever. And it really makes you wonder, is there something to this whole, and keep in mind, Kronos is another name for Saturn. And in the movie, the character's name, Jesus Gris, he's a clockmaker. And, Saturn is known as the timekeeper. And, it's the only thing standing between us and living forever is time. The inevitable thing that eventually will, lead to our passing away, as in all things in the material world. But I thought that was interesting, and there's definitely something there. Could the whole purpose of this possibly be to, live forever? But you see here, you get the, the Brotherhood of Death. 322 is their number, the number of Skull and Bones. And, And this all happens 3 months and 22 days after Stephen Avery's 43rd birthday. And that's no coincidence because killing has this value of 43. So I hope I made it very clear. I hope I made the number ritual behind her death very clear. And RIP to this lady, definitely taken way too young, caught in the middle of a sick number game. But yeah, don't believe what you hear in the media. You know, the world's a stage, and her story is 100% proof of that. And, you know, much like how they write movie scripts, our reality has been scripted out. All right, peace.